It's Tuesday. It's live, and it's the Jud Dryden Show right here on Bedford County Sports Live. And it is a good day for a coach's show, Coach. 44-0 win. Our sponsor today, as always, is SLC Firearms, 917 North Main Street, inside Shelbyville Lumber. You go to plumbing, Coach. What do?
Turn right.
Hang a right, and you're there. 931-684-5731. Guns, ammo, optics, gunsmithing, gun cleaning. It's a Class 3 dealer with the brands you trust and the service you'd expect from a locally owned and operated business. Mike Matusik, Chris Cartwright, stop in and see them. Coach, we came out a little flat in this ball game.
We did. Offensively, we struggled in the first series, then picked up steam after that. Defensively, we were on point the whole night.
Oh, the whole point on defense.
It was a great night defensively, and it ended up being a great night offensively as well. But it was so we were good. We made some huge strides across the board from week one to now. So even though I think what everyone saw Friday night was just how tough the first four games were.
Right.
And how they prepared us for a game where we physically match up against a team well, where we're just in a position to make plays the way we should, and not be beating our heads up against one of the best D lines in the state,
Sure.
And then some of the best large size athletes in Columbia Central, and a well coached, very multiple Marshall County team, and the athletes on the perimeter that Siegel had. We found we were matched up against a team that was equal or slightly less in talent, and did what we should have done.
Oh, go down the field and we finally get the penalties out of the way, get the ball back.
Yeah.
Robert, tell me about that first drive. We'll go up 6-0. Robert is a 5-yard touchdown run. Extra point was missed. What about that first drive?
It was a solid, well-called drive. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was there wasn't anything fancy to it. There wasn't anything special. It was just a good drive for us. I mean, that's kind of how the whole game went.
Right.
I mean, there were big plays, but not those moments of must-have. They naturally developed instead of being forced or schemed or anything like that. So it was
second drive. We get down, we drive it down again. But again, it's nice to have a field goal kicker make a field goal.
It is, and that's
32 yards.
Ben's, and Ben's a good one for that. I mean, he's so rock solid back there. If everything goes well, snap to hold the kick, he's almost always dead on.
And he's good on the kickoffs too, because he's got the leg to get it down there.
He's got leg. He's got pinpoint accuracy.
Right.
The young man's got everything you want in a kicker.
And the thing about him is not only can he kick it deep, but he drives the ball really well on a drive.
Yeah, he's got a leg, and he's gonna, as he continues to get stronger and truly back into it, in his recovery phase from the injury back in spring with soccer, he's only going to get better.
Well, we're up 9-0. We'll get to our offensive player of the game right here in a minute, and Dave's going to play the clip. 52-yard catch from Stephen Bobo to LeBron Ransom. Tell us about that.
Oh, it was just good to see LeBron actually. He's been battling that hamstring injury for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he is finally starting to come out of it and starting to accelerate the way we know he can. And his top end is coming around today. Today in our sprint work, he had the best top end he's had since the injury. So that's huge for us, and that's what he showed in that play. I mean, he made a couple nice little. And
now that he's healthy, he's able to play on offense as well as defense now, right?
And we don't have to manage his snaps near as much,
right,
and things like that. So he's taking some snaps at corner. He's taking snaps at safety. We'll be able to get a lot more multiple in our defense backfield with him now that he's able to. And then, of course, offensively, we'll be in. He allows us to go into 10 personnel more often now instead of the 11 personnel, which is with or without a tight end. So it only enhances what we are when he's healthy.
Well, clearly, if in a passing situation, if you have Ransom and Bobo, you have two players that can take the top off the defense.
And the nice thing is with either one of those, they can go into a slot,
right?
And we can motion them into any position we want. So it's not even having them on separate or same sides of the field. With him being healthy now, it gives us two guys that we can move anywhere, whether it be outside or inside, and have an impact.
This is a pretty good interview right here. This is the best part about the Jud Dryden Show is interviewing these players. Here is your offensive player of the week, LeBron Ransom. The Jud Dryden Show, it's the Shelbyville Lumber, Bedford County Sports Live, and this will be your offensive player of the week. LeBron
Ransom. LeBron, who's your mom and dad?
My mom's Tamika Ransom. My dad's Brian Ransom.
Brian Ransom. He was a pretty good football player in his time, too. There's been a lot of Ransoms come to this school. It's a real football family, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Good, deep football family.
All right, you get a huge play, and we're talking about the Wilson Central game, but I want to go back with you on a play that was pivotal for us against Columbia. We're struggling. We're down 14-0. Stephen flips it out to you. Wasn't the greatest pass in the world. You made a great catch and scooted down that sideline. Tell me about that play against the Columbia game.
Oh, yeah. We was down 14-0. We needed a big play. I told Coach to trust me on the one-on-one side before the game, and he did that. And Steven did leave me a bit inside, but I told him if he just put it by me, I could go get it. So we trust each other like that, and we made a play. I should have scored, but, yeah.
That was my next question, because when I saw you get it, I thought, he's gone.
Yeah. I haven't really been opening up like that, but I'm getting back good, trusting myself, easing back into it, stretching more.
And I'm noticing now that you're getting back healthy, you're playing offense more. At the first of the season, it was mostly at corner. Now we're seeing you more in there at receiver.
Yes, sir. Coach JC is now. He trusts me now more that I'm back, getting more healthy, back out there receiver. Coach Dryden trusts me more, and Coach Trey trusts me more to play both sides of the ball now. He thinks I can stay in the game the whole time now, so that's better.
And the thing about you is you and William both can take the top off the defense and do it pretty quick.
Yeah, I like how me and Bobo can be on either both sides. And when we are on the same side, it's even better for me and him at the same time because we draw certain attention to get one-on-ones. But when it's just us on opposite sides, it's like it's better for Steven, it's better for Robert, it's better for Coach AC up there in the box because they gotta spread the box. They can't just crowd the box with two people over there that could take. They can win one-on-one matchups like that.
All right, we get off to a slow start up here against Wilson Central. Had some penalties. Things going kind of slow. You made a 52-yard touchdown catch from Steven. Tell me about that play.
Oh, yeah, that play right there. If you look before that play, I had got off slow in the hitch, and I missed it. And they was, my team, I have great teammates around me. They tell me keep my head up, and Coach AC came right back to me, and I had to capitalize on that play. Steven made a great ball. I had two great blockers in front of me, and Jackson and Maddox Wright. They made the hole, and I just took it and went.
That was a big play right there, and it got us back going again the way we needed to after a slow start in that ball game. Coming up next, it's an old region game, and it's still a region game, but this used to be a bitter rivalry between Franklin County and Shelbyville. In fact, I can remember it being really tough. Big rivalry game. We cannot look past anybody, especially a rival like Franklin County.
Yes. As long as we go in there and do our job, stay to our keys, and be level-headed, we should come out with a victory. And we just can't let this week go by easy. Like, we got to take this week as this is the toughest opponent we got on our schedule, and we'll get out fine.
And get off to a fast start. That's what I want to see. I want to see us come out and get off to a good start on the first drive.
Yeah, good start. I think we should just come out and just throw the ball every play.
There you go. I agree with you. All right, on the Jud Dryden Show, this is your Offensive Player of the Week, LeBron Ransom.
All right, we're back. A little delay there. Boss man. What can you say about LeBron? A kid that's got a really high football IQ. You can tell the difference the second time. He knows what he's doing.
He does, and he is one of those guys on the field. He understands leverage and space. He understands how things are interconnected and how parts move. And man, he's so good on both sides of the ball because he understands that. I've watched him as a corner, bait receivers. I've watched him set up routes and do everything he has to. So he is phenomenal, and having him back and healthy again is huge for us.
All right, we're in the end of the first half. We have another pass and a good one from Steven to his brother. It's Bobo to Bobo, 48 yards. Tell me about that one.
Just a good call, fade ball off the other side, and good throw, good catch. I mean, can't say much more about it than what everybody saw while they were there. I mean, it was a hit William in stride, and William's gone. I mean, when you let that kind of speed get out, over the top, it's hard to catch it. So
moved into halftime. I think it's 23-0. Come out the second half, have a nice drive there, and it ends in a Bailey touchdown run. Tell me about that drive right there.
It's coming out. It was just one of those that needed to happen after the adjustments made at halftime. I mean, it was just it was somewhat more methodical. Not necessarily big play oriented,
right.
And that's something we need to be able to do. Offensive line took control, started to impose their will, and we just went down the field and made the right plays at the right times, did the right things.
Here in a second, we'll do our lineman of the week, but on this third quarter too, another Stevie Bobo.
First,
what we got?
Man, I got to give a shout out to my guy Scott Spray. He is constantly watching our show.
Outstanding.
So, Scott, we are so incredibly happy that you see us every week, and we sure do appreciate all that you do and say for us.
We appreciate it, Scott. Good to hear from you. All right, next score, we had a 10-yard pass, and it's Bobo to Bobo again for the second time in the game.
It was, and again, it's when you have when the field starts to spread horizontally and vertically, it opens up all kinds of seams, whether it be in the running game or passing game. And now a defense has to choose who they want to be. And in that moment, it was a pretty simple throw and catch.
Stephen was 9 of 16 for 207 and 3 touchdown passes.
Sure was, and which is it kind of flipped the script. The week before he was 2 or 3 runs, right?
3 running touchdowns.
So he just flipped the script on it, and Robert has a big game. I think he topped over 800 yards in that game for the season so far. So we're
13 carries, 123, and 2 touchdowns.
I think we're 5 games in. He's 850-ish yards,
right, approaching 900 yards.
Yeah. So he's having a great season too. He's averaging 9 yards carry. Steven is coming on and starting to control and run the offense the way he's supposed to. And I mean, just offensively, as the line has solidified, and we'll have another week with the same starting lineup. That'll be big for us. And so we're excited. I mean, we're starting to look ahead and getting more guys back. Defensively this week, we'll have Cohen Abernathy back, and he'll get some solid reps this week on defense. And then we're looking forward to getting Tyson Dunn back, and he'll have he's going to be big for us on the defensive line, and we'll get quality rep snaps for us on the offensive line as our utility infielder, so to speak. So we're excited about our guys that have been missing for us slowly returning to us. So it's exciting to come into this back half of the season.
Putting up these kind of yards and these kind of points. At this point, it's 37-0. Let's do our lineman of the week real quick. And Palmer Edwards in here, Mr. Edwards.
This is the Jud Dryden Show, and it is the Shelbyville Lumber Bedford County Sports Live lineman of the game. And this is 2 times for you, Palmer. Good job on Friday night. What did it feel like to be out there?
It felt good. It's always fun to be out there with my guys and just flying around having fun.
All right, tell me again about the chain. What does it mean?
Chain, it's well, we have a rope, but when we had a chain, it was you're only as strong as your weakest link, and the weakest guy is going to hold you down until you get him built up.
All right, was it nice to be out there this last Friday night and not be so outsized like you have been the last 2 weeks with Coffee County and Columbia? Could you tell the difference in their size or Wilson Central?
Yeah, I could. It was a lot easier. I had put it that way, but it really was because them guys the past 2 weeks they were pretty good and big too.
Very big. Well, one thing about you on the offensive line is you've got speed, but it's your versatility. You've been able to play guard or tackle this year. When we had to have you at tackle, you've been able to slide over there. Could you play center too?
I could play center too. I don't think it's a problem either.
Well, we're supposed to be talking about linemen. We're supposed to be talking about offense. But I'm sorry, the last couple of weeks on defense, you've been everywhere. And you were really big in the Columbia game in the fourth quarter. Tell me about playing defense and how much you like it.
Honestly, I don't want Coach Dryden to hear this, but I don't defense only. Just that's my favorite part of the ball because not much thinking. You just got to get somebody.
And the thing about Shelbyville is our front is so quick and fast. We're able to get in there on teams. And I think David Thomas was telling me there was some guys at Wilson Central saying they had no idea how quick we were because we were quicker than the film showed.
Yeah, we're smaller, but we're very fast up front, and it works very well, especially because we slant and stuff, and it's hard to stop.
And I'll say another thing. If you can ever get a team one-dimensional to where they have to throw the football, you boys are pinning your ears back, aren't you?
Yeah, and our secondary is really good too. There's not no one that can throw on us. Especially if we're not making mistakes and we're just following our rules, no one can throw on us either.
Palmer, you got a big game Friday night. This is an old rival back in my day. Franklin County's coming in here. It's a region game. Of course, we're not overlooking anybody. Franklin County's always tough, and it's a rival.
Yeah, we got to focus on the week ahead. Can't look ahead because, we start looking past them. They might slip up and something might happen. So just focus on what's in task at hand.
All righty, that's Palmer Edwards, your lineman of the week right here on the Jud Dryden Show. And we'll be back in just a minute.
Make the right calls and be fun.
All right. Well, 37-0. Palmer Edwards. Let's talk about him a minute. I hate to go into defense, but I had to bring it up. He has been so solid on defense for us.
I don't know why they would think that I'd get upset about them saying they like playing defense better. I mean, they all know where I started at. So
right.
It's not a secret that I'm, that I am the way I am. But
it's nice to have this rotation we've got going on right here in the D-line and linebacker, and we're able to bring different people in.
The outside linebacker is, you get to literally personnel out your down distance type stuff, and you get to have the right guy at the right time, and it's huge. Whether it's sophomore Nate Zimmerman or it's Zion Bonner or it's Chandler Jones has really started to come into
really
his
has.
own. Those guys, and then now you got Cohen back, and you've got, it's unreal to watch how Coach Trice kind of rotates those guys in situations.
And I think Chandler Jones is capable to cover maybe a little better than some of them in the coverage situation.
Yeah, he's got a natural understanding. I don't even think he could verbalize but he does a good job, and just in leverage and space. So that's big for us. He's, what he gives up in a little bit of speed, he makes up for in leverage, and so he's pretty good with it. And then having whether it be Zion or Nate, Zion of course is so long, and then Nate has a motor that just doesn't stop. Cohen's going to bring an intensity back to it. So Jay Whitelow, now that we get him back this week, he'll have a chance to make some impact plays too. So outside linebacker's huge, but the rotation up front on the D line is, beginning of the season, preseason, we talked about. How hard it was to lose Radon and Tarvis, and how two guys could have such a big impact. But now with a rotation, Palmer Edwards ran 21.5 miles per hour at 225 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's fast for a guy that size. And so having that out there, and then Colton Clardy's getting better, and then
Scott Kidd.
Ellington is so fast off the ball. So, and then you got linebackers coming downhill, and we feel like we're starting to really come into our own defensively. As long as we can line up correctly and get the right, adjustment calls made up front, we're good.
They were not able to. This is a tribute to your defense. Not only you throw a shutout, they didn't make it past the 50. And I may be wrong, Coach, but I think they had 1 or 2 first downs. Was it 1 or 2?
I think possibly 2. The only one I remember for sure is they had a 19-yard run on our JV when we were in the running clock as we were rotating guys out. So, and that was a misalignment. If we hadn't been misaligned, we'd have been fine. Right. So, again, it's it's the guys, they trust what we do and they believe in what we do. And of course, this is our 5th year doing it that way.
Right.
So, it's kind of starting to get ingrained in our guys and how they play.
Well, our total yards, 176 yards rushing, 249 passing for the game. They didn't have 63 yards of total offense.
No. And our yardage, of course, was with the 4th quarter running clock. Actually, halfway through the 3rd quarter, I guess.
And it was good to see you be able to get a bunch of other kids from getting Mason in the game. Mason Shaver's got some reps at quarterback.
He made 2 great throws. He made that slant that he hit William on looked. That was legit. Let's
talk about Nate Zimmerman running the football.
Yeah, and he, I want to say he had
55 yards is what I had him with in a 12-yard touchdown.
Yeah. So he's doing well, and then Xavier Jordan he may play it, coming back for that ball, that deep ball that Mason threw. So we're those guys step in and they play well in those moments. We're excited. Our present and our future both look really good at the moment. We just got to maintain our culture and keep working.
Well, our defensive player of the game is a kid who's really come on the last couple of weeks. This kid kind of excites David and I both. Jackson Thiem, and here he is right here, our defensive player, Shovel Lumber, Bedford County.
In the Jud Dryden Show, the defensive player of the week from Shelbyville Lumber and Bedford County Sports Live is Jackson Thiem. And Jackson, are you a sophomore?
Yes, sir, I am.
That's part of this really good sophomore class of kids that you come through with. It's a pretty good group, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, you get the defensive. You were all over the place on defense. Tell us what it was like. And you've been all over the place the last couple of weeks on defense, getting after it, but you got to play a whole lot more in this last game and make some plays for us.
Yes, sir. I just do my job every play and give them all.
got your first catch. We know we're talking about defense, but you got your first catch. Tell me about that.
I wasn't really thinking. I was trying to score, but I got tackled at the 2-yard line, so it's kind of disappointed on that.
Because you're playing tight end and you're also playing linebacker, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell me about the hammer. What's the hammer mean?
It's just be the hammer, hit somebody every play as hard as you can.
All right, who's your mom and daddy?
Eric and Melissa Thum.
Who's your position coach?
Coach Stefan and I guess Coach Keeley.
Did you realize that we held Wilson Central to under 63 yards of total offense on Friday night?
Yes, sir, I did, and they only had 2 first downs, so.
I don't think they ever made it across the 50 that I remember.
No, sir, they didn't.
One thing about us on defense, we've got you and a bunch of other kids, but now we're starting to get a nice little rotation in at linebacker and in the D-line where you're not maybe so taxed as you were before. How much does that help us on defense to be able to rotate this many kids and have this good rotation going?
I think it helps a lot, just keeping everybody fresh and so everybody can play to their best ability.
All right, we got a big game coming up against Franklin County. Can't overlook anybody. They're coming in here. It's a region game. It's an old rivalry. Y'all ready for Franklin County?
Yes, sir. I think if we just execute the way we know we can, it'll be an easy win.
All right, that's your Defensive Player of the Week, Jackson Thelma, sophomore, right here on the Jud Dryden Show.
Coach, exciting young man right there. I think he's going to be a ball player before he leaves here.
Ball player. He's going to run right in line with your Buck Curtis's and Jaden Harper's and Logan McBee's, and he's going to, Brody Lavorne's. He's going to step right into that role, and there's more guys in line with that. It's nothing more than the mentality that he brings, like those other guys did, and he's bringing it as a sophomore, and he is fun to coach. He's intense. He is focused on what he does, and I absolutely love him. He is fun to coach.
Might be able to catch that football on offense every now and again.
Yeah, I mean, it's as everything opens up, like we've talked about, as Steven grows in the role and the offense opens up some, and there's the Y's will always get incorporated more and more as we move forward. So especially as the field gets stretched horizontally, it opens up seams for the tight end. So we're excited about that.
And today's show, as always, is brought to you by SLC Firearms, 917 North Main Street. Right inside Shelbyville Lumber, you go to plumbing. Coach?
Hang a right.
Hang a right, and you're there. 931-684-5731. Like we said, guns, ammo, optics, gunsmithing, gun cleaning. Hunting season's coming up. If they don't have what you want, they'll get it pretty quick. Locally owned and operated, stop in and see Mike Matusik, Chris Cartwright, and the gang. Right inside of Shelbyville Lumber, SLC Firearms are right here in Shelbyville at 917 North Main Street. All right, Coach, got an old rival coming in here in Franklin County. We're expecting some rain, maybe a bunch of rain. What do they run on offense? What do they run on defense?
They're mainly the same thing they ran last year. They're basically a 4-2 on defense, and they'll run pretty much 10, 11 personnel sets on offense. So you'll see one tight end, 3 wide receivers for the most part. They'll get into some heavy stuff and things like that. Last year they came out in more of a wildcat set, and it took us a minute to adjust. But after we did, we were fine. We haven't necessarily seen that yet, but it's also been prepped. So just because it's something they had a little success with last year, so we obviously we're not going to be unprepared for something we've already seen. That would be negligent on our part. So that's been looked at and practiced. So we'll see what they show up with.
Important to get off to a good start in a game like this one, isn't it?
It
right
is,
off the bat.
and yes, and we've got to one side of the ball to the other has got to have a good start. Whether it's the defense like this past Friday or whether it's the offense, we've got to get out, have success early, and then just then work to put the game away. As we play. So this is our second region game, which makes it the most important game of the season right now. Mainly because it's the only game of the season.
Absolutely.
Right now. So that's it's the same thing we preach to the boys every single day. Play in this moment, learn from the moment, then play in this moment, and they have bought into that, and it has become a cemented foundational piece of our culture, and it's who we are. So it's exciting to watch them grow in that.
A wet football field, some coaches have told me it's easier to throw the ball. Some tell me it's easier to run the ball. Some say it favors the defense. What does a wet field do to you?
To be honest, it's all about game flow. So to answer that question, we need defensively, we need to line up and play downhill. And that's what we got to do, which is no different than a drive field.
Right.
Offensively, we have to execute on the O-line, and we have to secure the football, which is really no different than on a drive field. So does it create its own unique issues to deal with? Well, sure it does, because a wet ball gets tougher to hold on to and things like that. But at the end of the day, the game's the same, and both teams have to play in it.
Right.
So at that, just like when it's 100 degrees outside, or it's 30 degrees outside, or weather's a factor everybody deals with. So we just approach it as a non-factor that is just adjusted for. And again, it's just playing the moment.
Good old coach friend of mine, he would tell me that what he hated about playing in the rain was his defensive back slipping. And he said, I couldn't tell you how many times we've given up in the 80-yard touchdown off a blown coverage because it's harder to play defense maybe at corner than it is to run.
But there again, you make slight adjustments in stance, you make slight adjustments in leverage points, you make slight adjustments in depth. So to take care of that kind of stuff. And then we already train inside what's considered the frame. So the athletic frame is basically if you took your shoulders and turned a circle, you never let your feet get outside your frame. And inside that circle is where you play ball. So all their cuts, everything should happen with the feet inside that frame. So if we do that, we're fine because that centers the weight of the body on the foot, and that gets the foot into the ground properly without having any kind of slip leverage going out. So we're fine. I mean, it's as long as we do what we train to do, which is why we train to do it, because it works on dry and wet. It doesn't matter. So we're constantly, it's like we tell our guys, we're always prepping against the best team on the field, which is us. So we focus on us, and we do what we have to do, and we go from there. And if all the moments line up correctly, we win. And if we have a few moments where we don't win in the moments, and the other team does, and it is what it is. But we always come back to do what we do, and I love our guys for that. They have that mindset of as long as there's time on the clock, we can win, and that's about as good as it gets. So.
Friday night right here at home, and I think we're going to get more rain people on tomorrow night than we are Friday night. It's a home game, Food Truck Friday.
Food Truck Friday, it's going to be fun.
All the good stuff. Get out and support the Golden Eagles and stop by SLC Firearms and thank them for sponsoring the show. And Coach, you got anything else for me?
Do not. Just thankful for Scott Spray and everybody else.
Yeah, Scott Spray, shout out to you, and we will see you